Welcome back to the Figure Kit Garage, fellow resin heads and kit builders. Brent Krug back with another out-of-the-box review. It's box day Saturday for me. Got two wonderful little packages in the mail today, and this is the first one. This comes to me courtesy of NY3D Creations. This is the Poison Ivy 1/8 scale 3D printed resin kit. Comes in 9 pieces, and like the Gambit that I reviewed last year from NY3D Creations, these guys do not disappoint in the level of detail they get into each 3D print for every character that they do. They've added quite a few more since I built a Gambit for my client. My client was ecstatic. The build went together really, really well. This kit, just like Gambit, awesome as heck. This is the one I've been wanting for a while. I finally jumped on it. And we'll start off with the base itself. And kind of hard to see, but you guys see the grid lines underneath. It's really lightweight. 3D printing usually is, but sometimes they do get a little bit heavier. You can see resolution lines in the print. I don't know if you can actually pick it up on camera. But I've got Duplicolor filler primer that I'm going to use on this to eliminate that and smooth that out. And maybe a little bit of sanding here and there. Nice big pile of leaves with some vines twisted in, leading to a wooden tree trunk, rendered very nicely in 3D print. And this is what she'll be kneeling on very seductively, as she is the goddess of all things green and growing. One of my favorite Batman characters. Not hard to see why. Really nice looking. That'll be where her left knee, or lower half of her left leg, sits into. It's actually kind of set up to where her hands fit in quite nicely where my thumbs are at. And we'll start off with the legs. Right leg nicely rendered. Vines twisted all around her. 3D, the printing support posts, they'll have to be just lightly sanded off. Minor hole that'll have to be filled in. Not, no big surprise, no disappointments. Really nice. Sorry about the focus. Looks really good. The waist and left leg, more vines wrapped around. The little indent is where part of her left arm is going to fit into to lean up against her leg. It's nice. It's really nicely calculated how this thing's going to fit. A little hole in her knee. Kind of see the resolution lines right in that little area there, but filler primer should take care of that rather well. More support post lines that'll have to be sanded and trimmed along the bottom of the left foot. Nothing adult in nature to have to cover up. She's already pretty much covered. The upper half of her body, vines very carefully placed, and the hair will actually drape down over her right breast to cover that up. There's a little bit of her hair already printed on. Amazingly well detailed, nicely thought out. I cannot deny that. And then the head, which I did have to Dremel out a small portion of the inside right here, because you actually have to squeeze the neck into the neck socket, which is not easy to do. When I fit her together, I have to do that off camera, but very pretty in the face, detailed hair, really, really nice. More support posts that'll have to be sanded off. Won't have to do a lot of putty work to blend any of the hair in. They actually fit together rather nicely. They've definitely improved how well they prep the kits after they're printed. with alcohol and everything. I know he had a heck of a time keeping IPA in stock with the current pandemic that's going on. IPA, you know, where he's at, just like out here and everywhere else, is about as going for damn near the same price as gold almost. So he definitely has upped his game on getting these things cleaned up. And then her left hand. And no God, thing will not focus worth a hoot. There we go. Little vines twisted around, little leaves over the top of her hand. And the way the vines and the leaves were done, it's not really overdone or underdone. It just looks really, really nice. And the right hand, you can kind of see the resolution lines a little bit, but they're not really, really that bad. A little hole in the palm of her hand. No big deal again. And these two little vines that one will attach to her. That'll be this one here. It'll actually attach to one of the vines that's snaking off of her back. Well, print post clean up, and that'll be ready to go. And then this one will actually fit onto the base right directly in front of her. This thing does not want to focus worth a... Wow. Come on. Wow. Okay. There we go. Lots of good detail for dry brushing and washes. So I'm going to go ahead and fit her together, and let me start off with the upper body and the head. There we go. There'll be a little bit of a gap. Kind of hard to see. Right at the neck area. That'll have to be blended in. Might have to do a little bit of blending along the hairline. And up underneath the neck as well. It's kind of hard to see. Hair drapes down over the right side of her body. Covers her up quite nicely. It's looking just barely over that left shoulder. Very playful, very seductive, as she always has been. And more support posts that'll have to be cleaned up off of this so it'll fit properly, but the right leg will fit in just like so. A little bit of putty work, but nothing too bad. And then the support post right there will definitely have to be cleaned up to get a tighter fit, but she'll go together just like so. Have to probably heat that hair up a little bit and then squeeze it in and then glue it to her body so it sits properly. But that won't be anything really out of whack with a kit like this. It'll work together really, really well. Go ahead and fit her together here. Shouldn't need any quake putty for her. And these guys have been definitely producing some really, really high quality kits lately. They still got some of their old favorites. The Bilbo Baggins from The Hobbit. Standing in front of his little hobbit hole. They still got that one. They've added a new Wonder Woman, Scooby-Doo and Daphne, which probably one of the most unusual takes on Scooby and Daphne that I've ever seen, but it actually works. Doggone it. Oh, wasn't far enough forward. Her left arm will fit in just like so. Sorry about the camera, bumped it. Didn't mean to do that. And then her left hand will sit just like so. She does not want to cooperate tonight. Let me get the Quake Putty. When in doubt, use Quake Putty. Oh, this video's not going as I planned it, but oh well, does anything ever? Get her left arm tacked in. Try and get that back down in there a little bit better than that. Hair's getting in the way. There we go. Might have to do a little bit of refitting on the hair. Just to, sorry about the camera shake. And then right arm should fit right up in there like so. Tilt the camera a little bit so you can see her better. Pull back. And that is how she will look. And then this little vine will tuck under right in there. Have to be blended a little bit, but nothing major. And then the vine here will, it's actually keyed in and will fit just like that, and it'll snake up right behind her back. Nice little butt shot for everybody. Very nice. It'll look wicked when she's finished. Really looking forward to getting her started. And for a 1/8 scale kit, unlike the Gambit, she's got a fairly larger footprint as far as display area goes. So we'll measure her real quick. Front to back. We're looking right at about 7 1/4 inches in length. By 3 3/4 inches wide. And then height-wise, she should be just around, just a little over 7 1/2 inches in height. So not a bad, not bad dimensions for the overall height, width, and length. These guys are definitely putting out some really cool kits. Adding more and probably going to retire some of the ones they've had out for a while. It just depends on how things go with the amount of demand that they're getting and what supplies they have to print with, especially with having to have alcohol and whatnot to clean these things when they've been printed. He's printing them on demand right now as the orders come in. He's not printing a whole bunch of them and then letting them sit until someone orders them, which I can't blame him for the amount of supplies he needs. But all in all, this kit is really kick-ass. I'm really glad I got it. For those of you who love the Poison Ivy character and are looking for something like this, definitely get a hold of NY3D Creations. I'll leave the link to NY3D Creations Facebook and their website in the comments below. But once again, for the guys at NY3D Creations, good job. Really, really good job. So that's the first out-of-box review for Box Day Saturday. This is the Figure Kit Garage signing off. Stay tuned for the next review. Take care. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Build a kit.